All right, we'll call this Newman City Council Redevelopment Agency meeting, regular meeting of September 8th, 2009 to order. Please stand for the pledge. Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody please bow their head. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us here tonight. We ask that you give this council the wisdom and the strength to make the right decisions for this city. In this we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you, Bob. Call the order, please. Okay, pledge. Okay. All right. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Kelly?
Present.
Davis?
Present.
Candia? Mayor Pro Tem Martina?
Present.
Mayor King?
Present. Declaration of conflicts of interest. Seeing none. Ceremonial matters. Seeing none, we'll move to item 7, items from the public, non-agenda items. Any member of the public wish to address the council? Seeing none, we'll go to item 8, consent calendar. A, waive all readings of ordinances and resolutions except by title, approval of the warrants, approval of the minutes of the August 25, 2009 regular meeting.
I so move for approval of the consent calendar.
Is there a motion? And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9, public hearings. Conduct a public hearing and approve the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, CAPER, for the Community Development Block Grant, Cdbg program. Stephanie.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. On August 11th, the council released the draft CAPER for public review in the required 14-day comment period. That comment period ends today. As required by HUD, Cdbg participating agencies must annually prepare a CAPER identifying and assessing the prior year's projects. The attached excerpted copy of the CAPER in the staff report highlights Newman's projects for the 2008-2009 fiscal year. In order to follow HUD regulations, staff recommends that the council hold a public hearing and adopt the CAPER for fiscal year 08-09 past activity. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Stephanie? Not? Direction? Oh, I'll open the public hearing. Anybody wish to address the council regarding this issue? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to council for any questions of Stephanie. Direction?
Anybody's going to give us money, I'm in favor. I make a motion that we hold the public hearing and consider approval of the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, CAPER, relating to its fiscal 2008-09 past activity.
I second that motion.
It's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item B, second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2009, next in number, amending Title 10, Traffic Regulations and Authorizations to publish a summary of said ordinance. Sergeant Richardson.
How are you tonight, City Council, Mayor? Here for the second reading of administrative citations. We currently didn't make any changes to laws that already exist, which we're just asking for administrative citations, which is an additional tool for law enforcement officers. Instead of sending people to the court system when they're violating a traffic violation, it would be handled within the city and all revenues would be sent to the city instead of government agencies. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Do you have anybody asking for those administrative sites this weekend?
We currently issue administrative sites for municipal codes,
Yeah.
but not for violations. Nobody asked.
Michael?
Mayor, just one quick correction. We did make those changes that you did request at 10.01050, establishments of crosswalks, and that was B. And then we also did the standing on sidewalks, that was passed in 1930. We went ahead and struck that
They
one
have
as
sidewalks
well.
in?
Great.
Good point. Sergeant, just a quick question. Are you going to train or give them some advice? I mean, talk to the, you guys do an excellent job now, but this has put maybe another, because there's got to be some gray areas there, just to help out the police officer on that?
We will look at their DMV printout. We have access to their DMV record. And for continual violators, we wouldn't give them an administrative cite. They would have to go through DMV because it would not count on their DMV record.
Gotcha. Excellent.
Any other questions, Sergeant Richardson? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Anybody wish to address the council regarding this issue? Saying no, we'll close it. Bring it back to council for direction.
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2009, next number, amending Title 10, Traffic Regulations and Authorization to publish a summary of said ordinance.
I'll second that motion.
It's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much. Thanks,
Thank
Randy.
you.
Item 10, regular business. A, authorize the city manager to execute a contract with Ecologic Engineering for on-call consulting services. Garner.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. The item for you tonight is to consider accept the proposal for on-call consulting services with Ecologic Engineering. It is recommended to City Council to accept the proposal for on-call consulting services from Ecologic Engineering for an amount not to exceed $70,000 and authorize the city manager to execute said agreement. A little bit of background on this. In 2008, Ecologic Engineering completed our wastewater treatment disposal, our wastewater collection system, and our water system master plans, which were approved and adopted by City Council. In addition, in 2009, Ecologic Engineering completed the wastewater collection system sanitary sewer master plan, which was also approved and adopted by City Council. The Public Works Department has a need for on-call engineering services related to these studies. Following the completion of the studies, there were several identified projects and tasks necessary to be completed. Some of the projects to be completed would be for the firm to find locations for a future municipal water well that is being required by the Regional Water Quality Control Board. Be some ongoing assistance with the sanitary sewer management plan, and also for input on utility capital improvement program costs related to the future water and sewer connection fee studies and for the water rate study that we're looking at in the near future. Ecologic Engineering is a highly qualified firm in this area and has specific knowledge and in-depth knowledge of these systems due to their work on our master plans and our sanitary sewer management plans. This proposal is for on-call services and will be initiated by city staff only upon request for specific work that we need. For example, the water well system that we need to put in, we need a new municipal well. When we're ready to have that work done, I'll issue them a task order for them to go to work and do that work for us. So it's only as we need them on on-call service. Therefore, the Public Works Department has a need for these engineering services for wastewater and water system improvements. And Ecologic Engineering is highly recommended and highly qualified and has the knowledge to complete these for us. Therefore, staff recommends City Council accept the proposal from Ecologic Engineering for an amount not to exceed $70,000 and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Questions of Garner? Or is this going to be like a set amount, and so as you call, you just tap in? I mean, let's say you use $2,000 once, so it just keeps eliminating the total amount. Is that basically what you're doing?
Basically, what they're going to do is when we have a task, like you're saying, it's $2,000. That's what that task will be for an amount not to exceed that $2,000. Right. And until we get up to that $70,000 threshold, then we stop. And if we need more, then we would come back to council for future authorization. Right. But this is just to do that. It also has an agreement for the authorization for the city with the agreement with the consultant for 2 one-year extensions for this, if so needed. This is a service that they provide that was specific projects were identified in our master plans that we had to complete. There's some bottlenecks on some sewer systems that we need to upgrade. They'll be helping with that. If there's some development that comes into the city, there's some hydraulic modeling that we need. So some of the tasks we don't really have set up yet. I just have a few that I mentioned in the beginning that we will be doing. But as we see the need for more services, we'll do it. If we don't, we may only use $50,000 this next year. We don't know until we really get into see how much work we need. So the ballpark estimate is $70,000 that we'll probably expend at this point, and we do have that money budgeted.
Great.
And it's not general fund. This general fund monies. This comes out of the water and sewer enterprise funds.
Super. Any other questions, Garner? Direction?
I make a motion that the City Council accept the proposal for the on-call consulting services for Ecologic Engineering for an amount not to exceed $70,000 and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11, items from District 5 Supervisor Jim DeMartini.
Evening, Mayor Caton, council members. This is a record time for a council meeting, so
Buddy,
I'm going
you
to
can
make
hold
my
the record.
remarks brief too, so
This
you
could
can
be a new record.
set an all-time record. I just have 2 things tonight, as the Orristimba Creek flood project is beginning to do something now. It's moving forward. We had a conference call on Thursday the 3rd, where we had Mayor Caton was on it, Cardoza's office, and our Public Works Department, and David Jones from the CEO's office. And the Corps of Engineers is working on the project. we're going to have a meeting here in Newman on September 14th at 1 o'clock. And this is the meeting that we're supposed to have 3 or 4 months ago. So maybe they'll present where they are with the project and the cost estimates and what probably is going to be
And we confirmed that date, correct,
recommendation.
Jim? We confirmed the 14th?
I got it today.
Okay.
It said confirmed on
Okay.
my calendar.
There you go, Gardner. 14th, for sure. 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. It
That'd be
did say
here.
confirmed. It didn't
Okay.
say that before.
Would be here.
That'd be here.
Be here.
Yeah, it's right here. So hopefully at that time, they will present what the cost analysis of it, and the only thing that's any question of is whether or not there'll be a bypass channel, which is a drain. It looks like the project on the farm road, the levee along the CCID canal is pretty well set. So that's what the project is going to be. The bypass channel is really what's kind of up in the air. And then the cost-benefit ratio and the total cost for the project. The project includes restoration of the creek and replacement of the railroad trestle also. So this meeting on September 14th is what we've been waiting for quite some time. That should answer pretty much all our questions. I can't tell you any more about it by now, but the Corps of Engineers will present its report. And then at some point, then we have to start going out to the community and explaining what the project is. They'll probably take an assessment, from the area in order to have enough money to do the whole project.
Jim, are we going to get any static from the farmers in that area where this thing's going through, or what do you think, guys?
I hope not. One of them has called me. It's down, it's a Stomar Equipment, that group there. And they're just concerned that maybe the levee that's put up there would keep their land flooded longer than it normally would. Now, there is some truth to that, but the restoration of the creek channel will improve the flow of the creek to probably 4,000 cubic feet a second, 4,500. Right now, it's maybe 2,000. And just replacing that railroad trestle will keep, all the trash would build up in there and tree limbs and back the water up. So on most storms, and even in really heavy storms, the creek restoration itself will prevent the flooding. On really heavy storms, the 100-year floods, which is the 1% chance, it's really not a 100-year flood, it's just a 1% chance of getting these really heavy storms. The water is going to back up on the property unless it has a bypass channel, which is a drain, to a direct drain to the San Joaquin River, and instead of the creek, just the creek. So it doubles the capacity. We were looking at probably a 96-inch pipe, underground pipe. But I don't know if that's the cost-benefit ratio is there for that. There's a question. But to answer your question, there is a little bit of concern because they don't understand the project. We've never had anything to tell them.
Yep.
That they want to be sure that we're not creating more flooding for them. You will definitely keep the water out of Newman. There's no question about that. But will you back up water on somebody else's place?
And we've had several farmers attend a lot of these meetings, so some of them, have been informed and are informed, and,
Right.
and they've had input. So
Good.
it's going to be a matter of holding community meetings where we reveal to the public what this process is. And again, like Jim said, what's the cost, benefit ratio to the different projects. And I think we've kind of zeroed in on one that we all agree is probably the best. And then, of course, it's going to be coming up with the funding to get it going.
Yeah.
So
Good. Good.
Yeah, we do think that we can get the funding for 75% of it, so. But, they go by numbers. They have a, ratio, cost to benefit. And as long as, I think you gotta be over 3, I forget what the number is, but you get down too low and you don't get the funding. So you have to maintain a certain level. And the potential problem is that the bypass channel, if it's added into the project, would lower the cost-benefit ratio number down too low to get the funding. That's possible. I don't know if it will, but that's certainly possible. So we'll find out 14th, 1 o'clock. And the second thing is I want you to set your record today for the fastest council meeting ever. Healthcare Task Force We'll have the way out in Patterson, September 12th, Saturday, probably around 10 o'clock. The Ag Commissioner will have the scale. Competition, I think, going to be pretty fierce with the city of Augustine, because they're all on starvation diets there. I think everybody has lost weight, but I don't know if we can match them, but we're going to find out. So we'll have a nice event there in Patterson. It will be right in front of City Hall in the circle. And the Ag Commissioner will be out of town, but he's going to send his chief deputy to have a certified weight.
Jim, I was informed today that the Newman team will be weighed on Saturday, and you and the Patterson and Gustine on Sunday morning.
I'm not so sure about that. I would suggest sending over some more cake and pizza to Gustine, because they're looking pretty good over there.
I know they are. Yeah.
So, but anyway, we'll find out Saturday, so that'll be the way out.
Thank you, Jim. Item from City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a FYI, we have selected a new rec coordinator supervisor. She begins on Thursday the 11th, or Friday the 11th. Her name's Stephanie House. She's a resident of our community. She's worked in recreation for a number of years in Fremont area, and this gives her an opportunity now to also work and live in the same community. So she's very excited about it. Which leads me into the next one. If you are interested, soccer season starts this Saturday, Barrington Field. Stephanie will be out there as well. Our Newman Police Department Explorer program has stepped up to the plate and has offered to run our snack bar as a fundraiser for them. So in the future years, they can send more members to the Explorer Camp program that they do in Southern California during the summertime. And as you know, we've had some very good success down there by our explorers as well as our advisors. So please come on out and buy hot dogs and nachos and stuff and support our explorers. 2-on-2's coming up. Again, that'll be on the 21st of this month, so just a reminder on that. Unfortunately, we had a resignation in our Public Works Department. Very good for our employee, very good employee, Perfecto Milan. As many of you know him, he's one of our most skilled Public Works Department. He has actually accepted the position of a deputy director for a city 4 miles south of us that I won't name. And so he'll be starting that job next week. So Friday will be his official last day. So you will see advertisements in the local newspapers about a maintenance 1, maintenance 2 position. We're hopefully looking for someone who has certifications in water, because that's what we'll be missing when Perfecto takes his certificates down to Gustine. It's not that the department will be without them. We do. Our Public Works Director has all the necessary certifications in distribution and treatment that we need. It's just nice to have somebody with the qualifications and those certifications already in place. So hopefully we'll find somebody, and that'll go on. Recruitment, I believe, is open until September 22nd. You can download all that information off of our website. The mayor and I have an early meeting in Modesto tomorrow at 7:30. We'll be meeting with the city of Oakdale and the city of Modesto about the city of Modesto's contract with their card lock facilities. So we'll be discussing that. We'll bring back any information that we can to you. And in the meantime, the city will be exploring all options in terms of making sure we recapture those sales taxes that we are losing.
Michael, can I ask a question on that? What
Sure.
exactly does that do by us opening up another card lock station?
Well, if it's done properly, we capture all the sales tax that we are now losing.
We still have the other card lock, so it'd be 2 in town?
Hopefully, we'll put them out of business.
I like it. Okay.
That would be our goal, is to actually have someone who has their corporate offices in Newman, and we'll set up an office in Newman, so that way we capture the sales tax. As you know, the city of Modesto captures all the sales tax from that facility, that's generated in Newman,
Which makes absolutely no sense.
they capture it and they keep it. So that is probably, in terms that we can all understand, about 2/3 of a police officer that we're losing to the city of Modesto. And those are for sales and things that are occurring in our community. So we provide the infrastructure, we provide the roads, we provide the security, and we get nothing. In fact, I take that back. We get about $25 a month, $75 a quarter.
So that's the kind of service they get.
And yeah, that's where we should be getting $16,000, $17,000. So it's a travesty. So.
Ooh.
Thank you.
And then lastly, I know we're trying to make break here. Joking. CDs are for sale. The Wild Wild West. They're really coming out pretty well. We probably sold in excess of 30, roughly 30 or so CDs out of our city hall, and that's a self-guided tour of the West Side, $5. And just come on down to City Hall, and we'll be happy to sell you one. So, with that, that's all that I have.
Great, thanks, Michael. Any staff members have any other additional reports? Sonia? No? Stephanie? Garner?
Just a couple quick items. We do have 2 projects that are currently being completed. There's not any work really going on. The 2009 street repair project, all the striping's been completed. We'll probably be coming back to council for that for final approval of the contract and payout of that. In addition, Pioneer Park canopy was completed on time for the Fall Festival, and it went off really well. I think that it was much appreciated. The tables are all, the RDA, who came up with the money for the tables? RDA came up with the money for the tables, put new tables into the park canopy. So that project's completed. So that gives us some free time to start 2 new projects. We're going to be starting real soon. Hill Park project will be starting probably within a week or so. In addition to that, Fresno T Street sidewalk and storm drain improvements will be starting up. So as we're finishing up 2 old projects, we're starting 2 new ones to keep us busy. And then one last little thing that I have is the staff has been out at Sherman Park trying to get the fields ready and get them ready for soccer. So come on out and check out the soccer.
Great.
If you have any questions or comments, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions, Garner?
I just had one. You said all the striping's been done?
As far as I know.
I think they missed one.
Where would that be?
Okay, try to look at Driscoll and Hillsbury. As you
Okay.
come up to it, there's supposed to be 2 lanes. It looks like they marked it but never painted it.
I'll check
The
that out.
separation between the 2 lanes.
There'll be a final walkthrough that we do, but I drove most of the streets. I don't think I drove that one, but I thought they put the solid yellows in there. I'll go check it out.
Yeah.
No, they're missing a white line
White
between
line.
the 2 turn lanes.
That's
Okay,
White line.
all right. We'll have to review the photos to make sure that they were in there before, and if they're in, they'll put them in. All right.
Thanks, Garner.
Thank you.
Nice score.
Sergeant Richardson, hop right on up.
Trying to beat a record? I want that 30 seconds. Can we get it down in 30 seconds?
Don't screw this up.
I'm pleased to announce the CSO hiring is moving right along. A conditional job offer was made pending medical and psychological exam. We anticipate a hire date of October 1st for that person.
Great.
Police officer, the grant we got, a final offer was made to our reserve officer, Noel Borden, and anticipated start date will be September 16th for him. Is actually not anticipated, that's when he is going to start. Citizens Academy started last week on Wednesday. Successful, 16 participants approximately showed up, and positive comments from the community. We have a animal control clinic October 10th, 2009 at Pioneer Park. Boy Scouts of America and Newman Police Department have joined together to start a Scouts in the Park Day to try to generate more kids into the Scouts. As you know, our explorers are part of the Boy Scouts of America also, so there'll be numerous things out there, canine demo, fire truck, rock climbing wall, archery, things for them to do. And we received a click it or ticket grant, a mini grant for the police department, which will run from October 1st till September 30th of next year. And completed fall festival again successfully. Any questions?
Any questions,
Weekend?
Sergeant Richardson? Rand, just real quick, at last meeting, and if you could maybe have our graffiti expert people still behind precision inspection on the wall that faces to the north. They're still
On the back of the Pioneer Drug Building? Is that the one you're
well, it's
talking
one
about?
that faces actually to the north. It's right behind precision inspection.
Mm-hmm.
And then behind the theater, I was back there after the fashion show, and it's been tagged.
Okay.
So if maybe you can get those guys out, that'd be great. That's the only thing I realized I saw it because I drove through the alley. So. Any other questions, Sergeant Richardson, or comments? Thanks. Yeah, and, it was great as usual during the fall festival. Good presence of everybody, and it's a job well done. Thanks.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, I had one on here that I forgot. At the request of the council, Chief McGill, Public Works Director Garner Reynolds, and I went out to Marquez Manor and started looking at that situation over there. Chief McGill is talking to his troops about getting a little bit more patrolling up there. At this point in time, though, we would advise against closing that area off. We have not officially accepted the improvements, but there's a term that Garner used, beneficial use has already been established. It does really serve as a release valve for all the traffic. All the traffic
comes down Jensen, cuts across over to the high school area.
and the school traffic. Remember how it used to be closed off, closed circle, and we used to get a lot. So a lot of that is spilling out and coming in that way. So I think there is a beneficial use. So at this point in time, we would advise against closing that off, but we will make sure that our patrol, circles through there, and it tends to be forgotten because there are no active people out there, but we'll make sure that it gets on the regular patrol route, and people get back there and take a look at it now.
Yeah, the retaining wall has been tagged, whited over, tagged, white over again, and I think it was tagged again over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
This weekend?
Yeah, it's funny because at least they're tagging the same spot, so it's not expanding.
Well, you paint it, you give them the best spot.
They get whited out and gives it a nice new area.
Maybe we ought to move to brown or something. Anyways, I apologize, I missed that one.
Thank you. Okay, items from council members. Ted.
Congratulations to John and Carol and the committee for the Fall Festival. Excellent. I thought that was the best I've seen since I've been here, to be honest with you. I enjoyed that one more than any of them. And again, our police force, excellent job. I didn't see you guys, and nothing was happening, so it was perfect. It was just beautiful. Good job. The canopy, wonderful. I was impressed. I mean, if anyone just walk under that thing and the tables and everything, that whole area now is beautiful. I mean, what a neat place to go with your kids, and just a nice place. All the playgrounds and everything's neat. You guys have really done a super job there. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. Excellent job. What was the other thing I wanted? Oh, the Wild Wild West. I'm working on that in a committee to do some things on that. Make it an actual tour, a physical tour. And I'm trying to get a bus that we can get. It's just going to be a neat time. And there's a lot of history there that I didn't know. And I would like to do it. We have a lot of interest up in Patterson. I'm sure there will be a lot of interest here too. And we're trying to put it together. So it probably won't happen until sometime in October. But we may need more than one. I'm hoping that we'll need more than one or two trips. People really will pick up on this thing. But it's going to be a lot of fun. What else I got? That's about it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Roberta.
My grandson, Chaz Davis, is an explorer, and he went to that week workout in San Diego, and he was amazed at how hard he worked and how much he learned, and was extremely happy to have gone.
It is a great program.
He says thank you to everybody here that helped him go.
Sergeant Richardson was kind of the one that got that going years ago. You've done a great job with that, Randy.
Excellent.
Bob.
No, just to say thank you to the Fall Festival Committee. Had a great time. 2 days I spent in Pioneer Park and enjoyed all the good food. And I know a lot of people had a great time there. But as Ted said, I think it was a good fall festival. And it's always good to see people come to our city and be able to see what a nice city we really have. And it really has a lot to offer. But it was very enjoyable. The weekend was a nice weekend. That's all I have.
You didn't adhere to the weigh-in process or weigh-out process?
Yeah.
You contributed
Contributed?
to the weight-on?
Well, sometimes, you just have to do certain things in
Ted
life.
Cringe down there when
You
you
know,
said you
it's
spent 2
like-
days in the park.
Mr. Mayor, I
You know,
forgot
if-
to, I'm sorry, Bob.
No, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I forgot to also tell you about, we have invited the cities of Patterson and Gustine to a pancake breakfast at 9 o'clock before the weigh-in.
Did you actually take cake to them?
Oh, I did. I took
Oh, God.
ice cream cake to both Patterson and Gustine, and the one in Patterson was beautiful. They really got a good kick out of it. But Patterson, or Gustine, you're right, Jim. They are not. They're serious about this. I think they put it in the refrigerator, and I don't know. From what I understand, the staff got to eat it, but they were. Yeah, but Patterson was funny. That was really good. No, we had fun with it. So.
The only thing I have is I think all of you may have gotten a copy of the same letter I may have gotten from a resident on T Street, and I talked to Michael regarding the project, Hill Park project, and I recall that when the developer or the construction people were here talking about that project, one of the things that we did, and I know I went and spoke to every member that lives on T Street. Their biggest concern was noise, and I think this council took position that we would do everything we could to preserve the noise levels and include a sound wall. And I know we're doing this in stages, and so I called Michael and discussed it with him, and I don't know at what point in time this sound wall will go up, and I think a lot of it is driven by funds available. But I just want to make sure that we protect those residents on T Street. And if a sound wall, and I think that was, and I'm not positive, but I think that was the direction that we were going to go, is make sure that we preserved their sound over there and keeping things quiet, and the sound wall would go up. Because I know one of the things I had was a driveway at the eastern end, where they would be driving in, and there's concern about boom boxes and things, and so I don't know what any of you remember about that meeting.
I know we had talked about it. I just, if there is a legitimate concern, it's something that we do have to look at. I think, that's.
We did say, I remember the thing, but now, Mike, the way the funds are going now, I mean, there's nothing, I mean, it'd be crazy to put up a sound wall now if there's nothing going to be built. We're just putting in landscaping, aren't we?
Yeah, that's
I mean,
almost
it's
like
not
Sherman
really
Park.
a-
We don't have sound walls at Sherman Park.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
But no, we had a sound wall. I swear that was in the.
Well, but we're talking about putting in a new park area and eventually Aquatic Center.
Yeah.
And one of the issues that was addressed is that a wall of some protected sound wall would go up against the back of their properties because they were concerned
where the
about
parking lot was, Ed? That's what I remember.
Well, the
That's the
parking
only
lot was gonna
sound
be
wall
on-
I remember.
on this end.
There is a parking lot down
At the
there.
Yeah,
end-
but
at
we're
the
talking
end of it.
the wall that backs those properties
Right,
on T
and
Street.
there was definitely a sound wall there. Yeah, because I remember we talked about that. Right where the parking is.
I wouldn't want to say
way
one
in
way or
the-
the other, but I have to go back and revisit that.
Yeah, and
If
so
you
I
like,
asked Michael to take a look at it.
I'll share my recollection of it. We do have two features out there. We have the Aquatic Center, and then you have the Howard B. Hill Park portion of it. As part of earlier this year, you approved a contract to landscape it and then put in a playground equipment as part of the Howard B. Hill, because originally we were going to go Aquatic Center first, and then the park was the second. But we got some grant funding. We were able to get that switched over. And then they pulled the grant funding out from underneath us, but the council decided we'll move forward anyways because the bids are so low. Now we've gotten a letter that says, okay, we're going to give you your grant funding back anyways. So here's what we've done is we're moving forward with Howard B. Hill Park as our Public Works Director indicated to you. We're also going to bring back some potential change orders for the council to look at, and one of them would include a 6-foot sound wall. Originally, we didn't place a sound wall as part of this phase because most of the noise generated at this particular area or park is going to be from the Aquatic Center. A playground equipment, you're not going to get that much noise. But if the money is there and the grant will reimburse it, we're going to bring back, potential change order for you to evaluate that. Now you're probably looking a minimum of probably $75 a linear foot for about 400 feet. So you're talking about a $30,000 wall. Plus, we'd want to do anti-graffiti on it, probably paint put some vines or something on there just to break that thing up. So that and potential parking lot will be something that comes back before you guys change orders.
Well, Mike, couldn't they have something like with the sound wall, then also some type of bush that would be in
Correct.
front of the sound wall? It's hard to write graffiti on.
That's correct. That's correct. You can use oleander. We're looking at all these different options right now. What we are working at as a staff is working with our consultants, NTD. They're looking to us for, well, what type of wall are you looking at? So we have to get back to them, and then the person who was designing it got in a bicycle crash, so it's kind of been delayed a little bit. But that's where we're at. So to address the mayor, we understand that a wall was promised by this council. We were going to put it in later. There may be an opportunity to put it in now. So we'll bring that back to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there anything else for the good of the order? Good night. Adjourn.